Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back. I have a super fun announcement. We have a winner for the 2 layouts that we put together a couple weeks ago. So I picked out winners, and so we have Miss Marcy Lotti. She will be one of the winners, and GG Scrap N will be the other winner. So hey, thank you so much for leaving comments. Thank you so much for subscribing. And so we have these 2 that I am giving away. So we have Marcy Lotti and GG Scrap N. So I will send you a message, and then we can figure out where I can mail these to. So thank you so much. Now I have the layouts for this week, and what I did was I pretty much copied what we did last week with the boy pages, but look at how clever this is. We turned it into girl pages. So you can see right here, these adorable little suits from our previous page right here are now girl suits. You just have to tweak a little bit on the waist, make us look a little more feminine, make us look a little more feminine. And I use these gorgeous little, this was, I want to say it's the Peyton collection from a couple years back. So I did that, and then I put it together. And so I'm going to show you how I put all of this together. This is for a girlfriend of mine. It's her birthday, her 60th birthday this weekend. We're going to go celebrate. So I used the birthday collection here. Actually, it's the birthday box where I got all these gorgeous little cupcakes. And we did tons and tons of little journaling cards, a card for her to journal, to add little pictures. This one is a little card right here, super fun to do. These are all these gorgeous little birthday cards, embellishments for pictures for her to add. I'm really looking forward to this little gift for her. And so all of these lovely little things fit right into this little pocket, just like that. And I have here a little date tag. I really love this date tag. It's something that I use all the time, or I try to, because it's just so cute. And then we have this page right here. And for this one, I kind of wanted her to feel like a princess. So I put some crowns here, the cute little birthday balloons, a cute little tag, but I added flowers, some flowers and some cupcakes. And then I'm going to show you how I did this cuteness. Look at this. We can spin our mat. So in case you have horizontal pictures, or you might want to do vertical, you might want to do vertical pictures. And then I'll show you how I do this cute little pop out. Look at that. So right here is just a cute little pop out, and we're going to show you exactly how I put this together. It's just so much fun to create more space for you to use. And on this one, it's super cute because it is also a little pocket. So I use this kind of like a little pocket to hide a little something that's underneath here that I wanted to kind of keep hidden. A little mechanism. So it's right there. So let me show you step by step of how I put this gorgeousness together. Okay, so I want to show you my inspiration page, last week's page. Sometimes that I build something and I just don't feel it finished. And then I had a viewer ask me if I can turn this page into a graduation type of page, and I thought that was brilliant. So I made a tiny little handmade little, I can't remember, the graduation hat. Somebody told me what it was called, but now I can't remember what it's called. So the little bitty graduation hat, super easy to do. And let me show you, I use black paper. This going across is 1.25 inches. So I'll show you right here. Do you see that? I cut a strip of 1 inch paper right there. Okay. 1.25 inches, whatever size you think fits your graduate. Okay. I cut a strip, and then I cut it diagonal so that I'd have the shape of this little hat. Okay. And then the back of this is also, let's measure to see how big that is. Right here, that is 1.5 inches. Okay, so that I'd make this little piece right here that goes on this. And then I used my little circle punch and I cut these little scalloped areas so that that goes over the head. And then I just use my silver Sharpie to kind of accent that. And I think this would be perfect for graduation. Can you see that happening? I would put it right here, maybe into those areas. That would just be absolutely darling for graduation. You can add this to your cards as accents. I think this would be super cute to turn it into graduation. All you need is a little tassel, and I thought a little tassel would be darling with, this is what I used, the Dimensional Pearls Butterscotch. So you just kind of have to draw it. Once I put it down, I could draw my little tassel is what my plan was here. Okay, so this is what I'm doing here. And I was really inspired that a viewer asked me to do something for graduation, but they also asked me if I could do something for a graduation female. So that was my inspiration for the next page that I'm showing you. And I am so sorry, I have no idea in my brain the person that asked me to do this. It's gone. But here's what I have. This gorgeous rose collection. It is the Rose Collection Anna Griffin Anniversary. I can't wait to use all these gorgeous stickers. I so miss using those 3D stickers. So I use this paper right here. I got 2 of them. Okay, that would be my top layer of paper. And I cut around it 1 inch all the way around, cut out the window. We'll use this gorgeous window for mats and whatnot, okay? And then I have these gorgeous, absolutely, the little men dies, okay? Here's the little man dies. And guess what? I turned them into girls. Here they are. Little zebra one, that is from, I want to say it's called Peyton. And then the floral collection is from the Rose collection. Right here added, this is also the Carte Noir. You can use a regular paper. I just love using these little envelopes because I know I'm not going to use them for anything else. So I love to turn them into little pockets. Because these are girls, I decided they needed a little ruffle pleat skirt at the bottom. I thought it would look really darling, like their little dress with a little gold accent. And what we have here is the same loveliness, this gorgeous die. Now I don't remember, is this die from this year or last year? This is from this year. And it has this gorgeous little perforated dots that fit just perfect. You can just cut right onto that spot. And I cut them in half and added them in the back, just like that. So then you end up with this absolutely gorgeous, just a little peekaboo. That's all I wanted. I just wanted a little bit of peekaboo. I didn't want a whole lot showing. I just wanted to show a little bit. I picked out because it's gorgeous, bright ribbon, the blue. I kind of thought that with a little graduation person, the little tassel would be gorgeous, or with pictures of high school graduations. I thought that would be just beautiful. So this is my base page. Here is my little pocket. I made 3 of them. I turned them into girls. And then what I did was I just went in and pinched the ends, the insides, and gave them a waist and a belt with a bow. Isn't that darling? So I think that works really cute for this page. I really wanted to make the drapes. I'm dying to make drapes up here. But then I cover up this gorgeous ribbon and this floral, and I was having a problem with that. So I don't want to add ribbons or the tassel. Okay, so here is page number 1. Same instructions from last week. We just need to put this down now, bring this in, and this page is done. It is just super cute. Now let's go ahead and glue this together. Okay, so now with this one, it's very easy. It has letters on it. So you know we're gonna have letters and they're gonna have to go in the right way. So look at your floral page and see which way is supposed to be up. And I know that my ribbon is supposed to be just like this. So this is where I bring this in. I always, when I do glue of this sort, I always put it on the very outer edge, just in case I want to use something and put something tucked into this little space. And then we have this little pocket to put right on top. Now you can see I used the pink paper and then the very tiny rosette to make these little pleats on here. Instead of using ruffles, I am really trying, I'm gonna give this away to a girlfriend of mine, so I'm really trying to make this flat. I don't know if she likes fat pages or skinny pages. So I wanna make sure that I stay on the thin side of things. So I wanna put it right there. We have right here my super heavy duty tape, because this is pretty heavy. So I was, you know, this is a card that you mail out. So I want to make sure that it stays on where it's supposed to stay on. And then in the middle, I will put glue. Okay, lovelies, here we are. So now I want to put this in right there. I start looking at the bottom. I'm doing the eyeball method. I do not have anything technical going on here. I'm just looking at this area. Maybe I should be more technical since this is a gift, but I'm not. I'm just doing my normal me. Remove this part. I love the way the little suit came out. You just pinch in the waist and it looks like a little girl. I think that is so adorable. Okay, so then this page is done, and what I will be doing is just adding tons of little pages right here. Fun little pages, and it's to keep it all filled up and put all your ephemera. I'd love to make one that says, you know, a birthday card actually, because this is for a birthday gift. So I'd love to be able to put on here an actual card that says happy birthday. Won't that be fun? Okay, so here is this one page. And if you were doing this for graduation, I still would love to put the date timer on the bottom. And then a bunch of little flowers down here. So we're not quite finished. This is just my what I call my basic I'm finished here page. Okay, you know, guys, I love to do more and more and more. So this would be where I would stop and take a little break and then start working on the next one. Here is the accompanying page from last week's. Very manly, dark colors, this gorgeous gray, and a double rosette and a double frame, these gorgeous felt little curtains, and a little man that matches. Is that not so cute? Okay, so, and then of course we did an extra little tag right here. And now let's look at what we have to scrap lift, or let's turn it into a girl page. Okay, and here we have what I have come up with. Here is the girl page that I want to do. Now you can see better with the dies did here. You see how I kind of cut into this little triangle? That's all you need to do. You just have to cut that little piece right there off. And that kind of helps cut and define that and make it more of a girl page. Now what I did with these, because this paper is not double-sided, you can see here it's not double-sided paper, so I ran it twice and I cut off the collar like this and just used the collar that would be folding in. Okay, on this one you can see that I used two of the collars, the one that went with this page and then the top. So when you end up doing that, you end up like this and you would flip it over. But what I did is I cut it and then I used this one over here and then the other side. Okay, so super easy, super fun. I even added pockets because I was kind of feeling that Chanel look here with this little thing. There wasn't room for the top pockets, so I kind of left that alone. But I was thinking about it. I was thinking about adding some pockets to her top, but I kind of thought I'd leave it alone. I had a little tiny piece of gold of this little lacy stuff left over, and I turned that into her blouse. Is that not so cute? It's her blouse. It's gold. It matches her bottom trim. Okay, so this is the same pink rosette. Okay, it's the tiny rosette that comes with the fancy folds, and I turned it into a little skirt. How big is this? Let's see. That might be a question you might be asking me. Okay, so I went with 2 inches and then I glued it to her top. So what's peeking out of here is 1 3/4. Okay, so that is 1 3/4 sticking out. Now on the pocket, okay, now on the pocket one, it's a lot smaller because I didn't want the pocket, if I was gonna make it longer, the pocket would be all the way on top and I wouldn't be able to see as much ephemera. And I'm assuming this is a graduation page with these gorgeous little graduation hats. And you want to see that little piece sticking out. So I made this one and it's the same exact one and I just cut it. You see, it's right here. I haven't thrown this piece away because I'm thinking I might use it somewhere. But it's the exact same thing. You see that? Right there. Her cute little dress. It used to be long and I made it smaller. So on this one, there's a little peekaboo and it's just 1 inch peeking out. So it's probably 1 1/4 inches that's hiding underneath the pocket and then the little gold trim on top, okay? So now here we have our little doll that's gonna sit right here and I have some ideas on how to decorate her, but we'll do that at the end. And then let me show you what I did here. The same 1 inch trim all the way around because this is one of my favorite things to do is cut a trim around. So 1 inch, it kind of gives you that frame. I'm really into doing double of this and I'm already thinking of what I want to do this double. So here is this one that sits right here. And then I did the Fancy Folds rosette, but I did it in the fatter rosettes. So if you don't have the rosette embossing folders, that would be a 1/2 inch. So this is the 1/2 inch folds right here. And I used the paper so that it would have the stripes coming down. And then this one right here is absolutely gorgeous. So this is the embossing folder I used. I absolutely love this embossing folder. It's right here, okay, right there. And it looks like frosting to me. It's just beautiful. This is the pearlescent pearl paper in this gorgeous kind of minty, soft pastel color. And this is the Cuttlebug, and it's called the Tassel Border. Of course it's called the Tassel Border because these are tassels. Look at how beautiful that is. Okay, so what you do with this one is that you cut the paper first and then you run it through, and this is a 2-piece process. It's a set and it looks like this, okay? And it's 6 of them. It's absolutely the most beautiful embossing folders ever. And I ran it twice, of course, because I wanted the pearly pastel color and I wanted a gold. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. I saw this and I thought I have to do the same thing. I saw it on somebody else's page, my dear friend Sonia. I saw her page and I was just so inspired by her page and I said, I have to use this as clouds on top is what I was thinking. Thank you so much, Sonia, for sharing your page with me. And now I just scrap lifted and thank you. Absolutely beautiful. So here is this page here. Okay, so you'd want to put this down here, but I actually took a loop out and I centered it towards the middle. Do you see that right there? Because I kind of thought this is a curtain and I wanted to kind of give it a little more center, but if you put it completely down, you'd be a little bit off center, which is great. I don't mind that at all, but I was looking for the drapes going up. I believe Annie told me these are called jabots, going up, these little gorgeous drapes. And Sonia, I love the idea of using this as a top balance. So I'm so happy I saw your page. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now what we have here is we did these little tassels on the side. This tassel die is 2 die 4. I don't even know how I ever lived without this die because it is phenomenal. I have 3 pages of it. Okay, so the one that I used this time is this part right here. Okay, and what I did is I cut them up. because I didn't want just a single one. I wanted them cut. So please don't be afraid of your dies. Slice them, cut them, transfer them to a different side so that they fit what you want, what you are envisioning this part. And I'm gonna put it all together and bring it and glue it in, and let's cut off the brand on the bottom. Okay, now we're gluing this one down. I put my regular ATG tape, and I have to tell you, I say ATG, and that's the Scotch brand glider, but I use generic tape that I buy from Tape Jungle. I'll have to look for it, but I buy it. Oh, you buy a whole, my goodness, 150 rolls of it or something. So I use a lot of tape. So here we go. Here we have this part, okay? Okay, so I used the Tassel die, cut it out, and you're gonna ask me how big this is, and I don't know because I cut around the piece of paper. So this is 7 by 4 3/4. Okay, but I cut around, I set my paper down and then I cut around it. So let me show you where this is going to sit. I want to have it sit right here, off center. Let me show you what I have for my piece of paper. And I'm taking off my magnet so that we can start fresh so I don't confuse anybody. There we go. Okay, so this paper is super strong. It is for book making, and this is the stash of paper that I got from Create 7, where we made the little book journal. So I didn't use very much of it. This is how much I have left over. So I used 2 of those, one in this gorgeous pale pink and one in this minty green, because those are my colors here. On the other side, you see these are a little bit louder. And to me, these are going to be filled up with pictures. And let me show you what I have here. This is the letter M, okay? That is how I'm using it. So I didn't have enough. So right here, I just used the score tape, put it right here, and I just put them right together. Okay, so let me show you a couple little things that I like to make sure when I'm folding is right here. I want to make sure that the top page is bigger than all the other pages behind me. So I make sure that my score is going inside, that these scores are going inside, and this last paper is also going inside. So it's a tiny little bit of a pyramid going in, just because it looks neater when it comes to sit down. So the letter M for me is going to sit right here, and then it goes up. And you're going to have, instead of just one gorgeous hero picture, which will be right here, but then you'll have a picture here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. You have 6 pictures here, okay? That is how that is going to sit for making pictures. I mean, how gorgeous is that, okay? And then we put it right back into this little area. So super easy. Find your frame that you love. Make the piece of paper the size that you want. I like to make at least, when I do these, I like to make at least a letter M or a letter W, whichever way you want to flip your page out. Okay, and then now it's time for mechanics and glue. And let me show you where I want my magnets. I have these gorgeous magnets from K&J Magnetics. I put these down before I put anything else down, glue or any type of dies or pictures, because I want these to be where I need them to be at to cover up. Now this is really extra heavy paper, so I am using 8, which is a lot. I would use half that many, but this paper is really big, thick, gorgeous paper. Okay, so I put 1 in the back, 1 in the front. Okay, so now I am arranging these where I think I'll be able to hide my magnets. where there's going to be a picture on top. Okay. Or a flower or a little die or something, whatever you like. All right, so here I have my 4, and then I have them over here. And then they're going to sit right in this area. So now let me show you how I do this. I get score tape and I'm going to put it right underneath this. Okay, so now I have the little pieces here. And I'm going to put a tiny little drop of glue on my little magnet. This is kind of like when you do ink and you're going to get a kiss stamped ink on the other side. Because you see my magnet is on this spot, but I don't want it there. I want it on this page. So I bring it in. Let's move all this out of the way. Right here, we're going to bring this in. And you bring it down, and I kind of press all the way around to get a good, nice stamp. And sometimes they will transfer right where they're supposed to, just like this, okay? So now you hold these down, and I score around them. I leave this tape on it until I add the decoration. Okay. And then you're going to bring them back over here. And you see some of my magnets have moved. And you just bring them back. There's the ones from the back. Right there. So now on this side, I do the same thing. I'm going to use a tiny little dot of glue. And I'm putting one on the paper, and then I let the magnet just kind of sit on it. One tiny dot of glue and the magnet. This is my absolutely favorite art glitter glue. It's just divine. I love it. To completely put this down. Because you don't want this to be moving. You don't want it to be doing absolutely nothing other than holding your book together. So now we have our book, and we can open it. And we can open it. And then when you let it come in, it's going to stay flat on your paper. There we go. So I like things on this very back, and then I like them on this very top, because if you would have left the magnets on this one, then this one was going to be flapping open. Okay, just like that. So now we have this, and we can put it all down and put it together. I think because these little tassels need to be all glued down. They're not going to be something that stays up. So let's bring these little things all down. We don't want to lose our tassels. Okay, lovelies, if you wanted to leave your little lady out, you could leave her out. You can put this and center it right here in the middle. That would be perfectly okay. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And this is where you still have tons of pictures to put of all of your stuff. Okay, so I have decided to switch this up a little bit. And I want to be able, this is not my page, this I'm giving as a gift. So I like to be able to know if this person can do a horizontal picture or a vertical picture. And sometimes, since this is kind of like a little mini book inside your scrap page, you might have some that are vertical and some that are horizontal. So the trick to this is you put your picture here and then you're able to spin it, if that makes any sense. So in order to do that, you have to kind of do a little bit of geometry. You come back here. I use my ruler, go from corner to corner to find the center of the page, right here, center of the page. And then you use a brad right here. This is a nice big brad. Because this is super heavy, I thought I needed a bigger brad. Usually I use the little itty bitty brads that almost look like mini earrings. And then I smush my brad with my crocodile, very high tech. And then I'm going to punch a hole in this space. And I do have the bigger crocodile, but I don't know where it's at. It's on a different counter. So high-tech stuff. Don't buy extra tools you don't need. You just punch a hole right in here. Going a little bit off center right there. Okay. And then you're able to put your little brad right between here. Okay. There. And then on the back of your brad, it's gonna sit like this. You're gonna be able to spin your brad, okay? So make sure your hole is big enough, snug enough, but it needs to be able to spin your little piece here. And then you need a little bit of a lifter because my page is still a little bit thick. So what this is the same chipboard that I use for the little girl. And I think I'm gonna use 2 little lifters just to be sure. Okay. We'll put these together. Okay, so what we have here is heavy duty chipboard. I'll give you the Amazon link that I got these from. I absolutely love them. I think it says something about 45 on it. Then I need my crocodile because this is quite thick and I kind of aim to the center. And that's going to be right there. And that is what I'm calling my little lifter. So when I'm spinning my page, I'm not getting trapped in all of these little beautiful things, okay? And now we're gluing the lifter to the paper. Going right in here, we're gluing this right on there. And I'm making sure that all the way around that brad, the glue is on. Okay. And that little brad is staying put. Now here is where our geometry has to come along. And I don't want to be losing any pieces from my little decoration. So I'm putting little tiny bits of glue right underneath all these gorgeous little dots, just a tiny little smear where you think your glue might be, your space might be hitting it when you're spinning. Okay, so now I have my little brad's legs there. And you kind of want to spin your little page, okay? I'd like for my page to sit right there, but when it spins, it would be sitting right here, and then you can put it back. You see how I'm getting stuck on this little spot? Those are the spots you want to make sure you're gluing down. Okay, so now we are practicing, and looking at how our page is going to sit. Okay. This is where our little page would sit, and then it's going to spin in this direction, and it's all doing fabulous. It's not catching on anything. It's still inside the page. If this wanted to stay up, it would still stay up because of this little space. Okay, and you kind of want to just keep working it until you find a spot that you like. Okay, right there. And when it's back this way, it's right here. And my little doll is going to sit right here. So now we have the right spot that we are looking at. I even like that off the page, off the trim, but then it's too low, and so you don't want to do that. So we need to make it higher this way. Okay. Okay, that's the spot. Okay, so now how do we do where our spot is? I'm going to put a little bit of tiny glue. I'm going to bring it down to where I think I want it. And we have a tiny little kiss method right there. And I can see that I have 2 tiny little dots of glue. And I'm going to punch a hole right in that spot. Okay. I have another little lifter, but it's not going to be on this side. It's going to be on the other side, just to support my paper and make sure it stays nice and strong. Okay, so now we have our glue off. And before we glue our lifter, we want to test it out. So now we have 2 lifters, magnets, the whole page. You have a little hole there, and you're going right inside. Okay, now we have our little, let's put our little lifter in here just to support it. Okay, now here's our test. And you hold it, and you're going to spin it, and it's inside the page. And you turn it, and it's not getting caught up into anything. And to me, if it was in my book, it would be in the right spot. Here's our little girl page, our little girl decoration. And she can still spin. That kind of looks like it still needs one more lifter, doesn't it? Right there. So let's do that, okay? One more lifter to keep everything all nice and perfect. Take it out. Put a little wet glue around it. Right through here. This is why we use the longer brads instead of the little bitty mini ones, because we have to have legs that go all the way through. All right. So now we ended up with 3 lifting elements on our little page. And we have 1 for the back for support. And we're going to glue it in because I like it right where it sits. And this is just for support, to make sure my paper page doesn't rip apart. Okay. And then I fold these little babies out. And somebody asked me why I leave the tape on. Okay, you spin it around here. Bring it back. And I put these little tapes right on top. And now she still spins, okay? So you can open it and spin it while you're opening it. And she's sitting really pretty and tall. This is a really big fat page, and I was trying to make not fat page, but Sometimes it's worth it for the 6 extra pictures you're going to get in it. Okay. There we go. And now, when she's open, she's not catching on to anything. That little one right there, make sure she's glued down. Is there anything in there? Okay. And then this gorgeous little girl is going to sit right here. And when it's spinning, we need to glue her little dress. That's where it's catching on. Okay, so just like that. I love it. Okay. Now, in order to hold your die down on this side, so the magnets on the back are on here, and we do the same little thing, one tiny little dot of wet glue, one tiny little dot of wet glue, and then I do this just for extras, and I use my very expensive score tape, but I'm sure that this ugly gift wrapping paper tape is just, it's just holding this in. So you have to make sure you put your little glue dot, and it's on there. Okay, so you can use gift wrapping paper, I'm sure. That's what I'm practicing here. Let's test it out and see how it goes. Okay. Now we're flipping this over, and we're putting this one down right here. I'm going to use wet glue again because I only want to do it right on this area. Of course, we're not going to use it as a pocket now because we have this big one here, so we can actually wet it all down. So here is my dress form that we kind of just faked it out. And she's going underneath. I like her a little bit off center, but wouldn't that be just darling cute? Look at that. Okay, now we're all glued in, so we can take this and you can spin it. You see that? And then when you come back, it's going to snap in place. And this is going up above it. And then you're spinning it. And then you're bringing it back. Press this down, make sure it stays at the bottom. And there we go. I think we might need one more magnet. Why not? Okay, lovelies. So here is our little page. We can spin her around to see where she's going, and she's coming back. Okay. Now here is our page. Now we need to decorate her, my favorite part. So we can embellish like crazy and add more tags. See how fabulous that went? I still have some more of this little space here left, and I have some of this little curtain stuff, so I still need to add more. So let's start doing that part, and I'll show you what I did. Just wanted to show you I'm almost finished. I got my mat down, and it spins in a circle. Look at that. Spins around, and it has space for lots of pictures. This is what I'm calling my Sonia page because of these gorgeous embossing folders on the top. Just want to show you real quick. Lots of magnets and a brad. Okay, so we are all done, and I am so happy that you've been hanging out with me. Thank you so much. I so appreciate your support. Please subscribe, and please leave me a comment. Talk to me. I so appreciate that. And so this was super fun, using our manly dies and turning them a little bit more feminine. It's always so much fun to use a die for a different purpose, just like this is one of the inserts from in here, and we kind of just folded it and turned it into a tag. So super fun little things to do, making your supplies that we already have at home turn into something a little bit more, right? We want our supplies to really get their money's worth. And then this one is just precious. The little crowns, the cupcakes. I mean, who doesn't want to be a queen for the day on their birthday? And then this gorgeousness of loveliness. So super fun little mechanism to use. We all have pictures that sometimes we take horizontal or vertical pictures. So here you're able to do where you're going to put one picture at. Now you are going to have room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures, plus this pocket of stuff that you can put more pictures in. So it's super fun to do, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. Thank you so much, and stay with me. Just subscribe, ring the bell, leave me a comment, and I'll see you next week. Bye.